So where is everybody?
Well, it doesn't start till 10, so.
Oh, I thought you did a meeting beforehand.
No. It's like I'm trying to get it. Thank you. I'm trying to get all this up real quick of what. Order of what, Susan wants. Susan, I'm getting it up there for you. Hey, Susan, can you talk just to make sure everyone can hear you? Oh, you're on mute.
Is that better?
Oh, yes, there we go. I just want to check the volume while
Thank
we
you.
were. Okay, I think I have them in the order you wanted. I hope I have them in the order you wanted.
And if I forget, we'll just go the way the way we do.
Okay. All right. I think we're ready. Okay, guys, we're gonna get started. I know other people are coming in, but we're gonna get started with the rain forms, and Susan Walker is up first. Morning.
Good morning, everybody. You probably all received from Rain the new changes in your inbox. And on first blush, they don't look like a whole lot. Oh, yeah, there we go. I see Thomasina waving. But I did want to run through them and just make a few comments. The first thing is a residential data input sheet. And if you scroll down, there is a new section for additional structures. So, you already had a place on the data input sheet for things like garages and sheds. But now you see down there in blue, near where Thomasina's cursor is, it lists a bunch of different additional structures that may exist on a property that you could check to add to your list of features for the property. One of them says ADU, auxiliary dwelling unit, and that's something I hadn't heard of until recent years. And I guess this goes hand in hand with the CDIF changes that we'll see in a minute. I would be careful if I were the listing agent to advertise that an ADU could be rented out, or to make any comment about whether or not, what it can be used for, unless the seller actually has copies of permits and things like that, or it can establish to you that it is zoned where they're allowed to have an ADU that can be rented out, if that's what the purpose of that dwelling unit is. Some zoning areas will allow it and some won't, and I can't tell you off the top of my head. So anyway, it's fine to advertise it as having one, but I wouldn't advertise it as being rentable unless the seller has proof of that from the HOA, if there is one, and from the city, or something from a lawyer or something like that. So that's the only additional information they've added to the residential input. So going to the CDIF is the next one that we'll look at. Again, not a whole lot of changes on the first page down in paragraph 2. All they did there is just break up the warnings to the seller and the warnings to the buyer in 2 different subsections. The warnings to the seller about leaving your stuff out that people could steal or see in the property as buyers or potential buyers are viewing the home. And then a warning to the warning to the purchaser about being careful of what you say, as it could be picked up on an audio recording in the home while you're in there. So those warnings were already in the contract. They've just, in the CDIF, they've just been formatted differently there in paragraph 2. Then going down a couple, I think it's on the next page, to paragraph 8. To me, this was kind of unusual, but anyway, it's following what the legislature did, is making an additional aircraft noise disclaimer. And this one doesn't have to do with a military airport, but with any public use airport, warning potential buyers of the fact that there could be an aircraft noise in a locality that has an airport, and that the buyer should exercise their own due diligence to look into that if they are buying near an airport. So that's just something following the Virginia Code. Again, another one of these things that you don't actually have to pick a zone like you do for the military air installations. You don't have to put a noise level or an accident potential zone. You're just simply, it's just simply something in the DPOR disclosure now that says that the buyer needs to look into it if they're concerned about it. Down on the next page, this is again about the auxiliary structures in paragraph 8K. And I think it's a little bit to the left there. Yeah. So it's similar to, it goes hand in hand with the data input, basically saying that nobody is making any representations or warranties to the buyer about, first of all, whether they could build any additions to the property in the future, and B, whether or not any additional auxiliary structures that are located on the property actually are there properly under the zoning laws, under the HOA regulations, and that they can be used for what the buyer would want them to be used for. Just to comment on this, and this gets complicated, but if you had a buyer who is purchasing a property, and your managers, I know, have probably told you this repeatedly, but if there is someone who lets you know up front that their goal is they want to build a mother-in-law suite or they want to put in a pool, I would advise the buyer to do that investigation with the city before their contingency period is over. So, do it during the home inspection contingency period, or write a specific contingency into the contract if that's the only reason they would buy that particular property. Because you as an agent can't, obviously you don't know, you're not being paid to go down and investigate all that. You could help them investigate with the city. But if they don't have a contingency period of some kind in there, they're stuck with buying that property regardless of whether ultimately it's suitable for that purpose of building an additional structure on the property or a pool. So that's just a little side comment about why that change probably went in. I don't know if Lucy or Thomasina was in any of the meetings and knows more of what the impetus was behind it, but I do think it's a good idea to warn people about they can't always do what they want with the property. Lucy or Thomasina, do you have any extra comments about that change?
Yeah, they had a few people after they purchased go back and try to say that that was something that they had told their agent about, but it wasn't really documented either way. So it's more for the documentation to protect both sides, is the understanding that I took from it. Because people do, as you're like, oh yeah, futuristic, I want to blah, 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 blah. And then they were like, they couldn't. They're like, I told my agent, and there's no documentation of that, right? Because it's just verbal when you're walking through. And so from my understanding, they did that so that there is documentation to protect both sides. So
right. Makes sense. I mean, yeah, and I'm sure there have been threatened lawsuits over that type of thing when the buyer did make it known up front and somehow it didn't make it into the contract. But
yeah, and the agents were like, well, we're not builders. We also don't work for the city. You have to do your due diligence, check on that, blah, 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 blah. Again, wasn't documented. So now there's a place that all can be documented. Yeah.
At least there's a warning out there that if they want it, it needs to be documented.
Right. Now it's signed and it says if you want it, then you need to look into that. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Very good. And if there's anything else Thomasina or Lucy wants to jump in on this, because you all were there at the meetings and I wasn't. So the next one, the purchase agreement, there really is not much added to this. It's just in paragraph 16 in the agency disclosures. They added, and I'm going to ask Thomasina to jump in on this because I have to tell you, I'm wonder if this scenario ever even comes up. Let's see. So right there in 16A3, which says listing firm and its salespersons represent the seller, selling firm and its salesperson represent neither buyer nor seller. And then they just added buyer has signed the disclosure of brokerage relationship to unrepresented party form. And I couldn't think of a scenario where the selling firm and its salespersons represent neither buyer nor seller. Can you tell me a scenario where that would be the case?
Yeah. So there is a unrepresented party form because sometimes you do have one where you don't represent you. Like we don't allow our agents to represent both parties. An agent. You can get another agent to represent one and the other, but sometimes they don't want that. And so you have to have one sign an unrepresented party form because you can't represent both parties true and form. So what you're supposed to give to the person you're representing, right? So if you know things about the listing and the seller, you can't really represent the buyer correctly unless you're telling them everything about the seller that you know. And then you're not representing the seller correctly because you're divulging information to the buyer that you know. So they sign the unrepresented party form. The reason this was changed and put in here is because people were selecting number 3, but never getting the unrepresented party form signed.
Hmm.
So when you're selecting number 3, it does say that, but have the unrepresented party form for whichever one you decide, the seller or the buyer, however you're doing it. To have that signed means there's another disclosure that goes through every single thing, even in more detail. And so that's why they weren't getting that signed. They were selecting it, but not getting it signed.
Okay, okay. All right, very good. Thanks for that background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only thing they changed in the purchase agreement this time. So
Thankfully.
amazing. All right. What did I say next would be the next one? Let's see, the purchase price escalation addendum. The only thing they changed here was to take out the word bona fide in the first paragraph, which I kind of liked that word because it emphasized the fact that the seller just couldn't come up with some, get your next door neighbor or get your cousin to put an offer in to try to force the buyer to jack their price up. But I guess the authors of the form said that because we weren't defining bona fide anywhere in it, just take the word out. The buyer is still protected from false competing offers in paragraphs 2, 4, and 6, because there's the requirement in those 3 paragraphs already existing that they need to well, maybe not 6, 2 and 4. They need to provide document. The seller needs to provide with the competing offer not only a copy of the contract, but also down there on line like 20 and 21, each other agreement, document, or addendum comprising part of the competing offer. And I would say that would include proof of funds. That would include the pre-qual letter from the mortgage company. Basically anything that could establish that it is in fact a bona fide offer. You could ask for as the agent for the buyer who's being presented with this competing offer and being asked to sign off, initial off on the higher purchase price as a result of the competing offer. So, and it does say down in paragraph 4, already part of the existing language, that the buyer has 2 days from getting the competing offer in order to terminate the contract if the buyer feels like there's something fishy about it, or they just at that point don't want to do it. It doesn't seem to say that it has to be based on legitimate grounds that the buyer could terminate. But they do have 2 days if they feel like we don't think this is really legit to do that. And I'm sure that does not happen, but I do think it's good that the protections are in this document for the buyer in that scenario.
Yeah, and it says complete copy of the competing offer. So don't forget that. So we were just talking about that. I was like, you can always ask for that, but it's supposed to be delivered. And it says complete copy of it.
Yeah, and if you wanted more things, like it doesn't say in there, you have to include the pre-qualification and proof of funds. You could handwrite those in, when you're completing this document and presenting your offer. If you want more than what they're saying there, it even though they've made it long, it could still be vague. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's just a brief route. That's the only thing they added there was subtracted there was to remove bona fide. And then on the, I'm sorry, this is the short sale contingency addendum to the purchase agreement, SSPA. Basically all they did there was just remove the language that would have been, possibly contradictory to the NAR settlement. So there's nothing in here about the brokerage fee. You refer back to the purchase agreement for what the agreed brokerage fee is, and it's not in the short sale purchase price addendum, short sale addendum anymore. I had forgotten this form even existed because we've had basically hardly any short sales in the last 10 years. But now it's going to probably be coming back. Are you all seeing those? I don't know if you're seeing those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's good they're thinking about and looking at that form again. So those are the only changes. I don't know, Thomasina, Lucy, if you all have anything else you wanted to say about the changes aside from that, but that's all I have.
She's shaking her head. No,
Okay.
only thing I'm going to say is that and then Rebecca has something. Only thing I'm going to say is that we have updated everything in Brokerment, unless Christy wants to chime in if anything is left. We've updated everything in Brokerment. Make sure you use the new forms. We've been sending stuff out. I will say I'm highly disappointed. There's 2 people in our brokerage that have elected to not get text messages from our brokerage. That's the thing, because you can elect that because it's a group, you know, it's well, not really a group, but you know, spam texts is what I call them, but and that was a big mistake because that's where our updates come from. And so that's a liability issue. That's not something that you guys should be doing. We put things out for our training, which we have to as a brokerage. We put things out for information. There's people that have elected not to get emails from us. There's people that are not going on our Facebook page. If you don't come to the meetings and you don't come to the office, how else am I going to get you the information? That's not okay, guys. It's not okay. So, we're gonna be having talks with people that are doing that individually, but I'm doing this as a group now. This is for your safety, our licenses is what we need to do. So it may be annoying, but it's part of you being a real estate agent. And if that continues, I'm sorry to say, you're not gonna be a real estate agent with our office anymore. I will not take on a liability risk. So, as harsh as that sounds, it is the facts. And we only have a couple, thankfully, out of everybody, but still, let's get that corrected. That's how we send this out. And this meeting will be recorded, is being recorded, and we will be sending that out again too. It's on our YouTube page and then it's also on our Facebook page. But it should all be in there. Make sure you use the new forms. The old forms will not be accepted from here on out. So Lucy will be kicking those back. So make sure you have the right ones. Now, as always, the ones that are already signed in the system, we don't make you redo those. But moving forward has to be the new ones. Rebecca, you have something?
Coming back to the first thing that she was talking about, the outer dwellings, I just wanted to kind of actually pose a question stemming from that to the lenders in the room, something that I ran into twice in the last year. Putting in the contract that something like either that or a shed that's a semi-permanent, not a permanent shed, I'm not talking about that. It triggered something that I hadn't dealt with before, just by putting them in like under what conveyance or whatever. It triggered the appraiser having to include them. Which isn't something I think all of us necessarily want, nor do our buyers, if that makes any sense. So I kind of do want to hear just a minute of like feedback from the lenders, a little bit of guidance about that specific to what she was talking about on the contract.
Well, depend on the loan type. It's gonna depend on
So these were both VA,
VA,
okay?
take into account.
If we
Any
took
kind of-
that off the
They're
contract,
still gonna take it into account because it's
the
on.
appraiser
I've
was
actually,
still included
Christy
in
and I
the
actually
value?
had to have one removed off the property or demolished.
Okay.
Because it was,
Ed?
yeah. because
Even
it
if
was,
there's nothing about it in the contract.
That is correct.
Remember when they came, were you there when the appraisers came and talked?
I think so, or I was online, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that's only
I think you
VA.
were online. I think you were online. They were talking about that and they were saying it falls in line with
Yeah.
safety. It falls in line with safety.
Okay.
And so if it's there and it is a safety issue. Yep.
Like we,
Especially, and they actually said especially if it's not permanent because it's still a safety.
that's
thing.
correct. So
Yeah.
you know what one did is they actually removed it off the property because it wasn't permanent
And
And
then
then-
back.
brought it back.
So-
We don't care what's brought back after. We don't wanna know about it.
They literally put it on wheels, trucked it down the street and then brought it back.
Yeah, up close, tiny.
How does this have any relation to what she was talking about these outer dwelling? Cause this is a little bit different than a shed.
I would deflect back to Susan on that. I believe it's anything that has four.
The appraiser looking at it.
Oh, you mean is the appraiser looking at it?
Like,
I mean, it's what we said. So if it's there, they're going to even if it's not listed as that.
even if it's
Well,
not.
the only way they're not, and again, the appraiser said when the question was posed, what if they're not going to get, what if they're gonna take it? And he was like, pull us back out, when it's gone. Which is probably what they ended up dealing with, but pull us back out. But yeah, they said it's over safety.
Yeah, I think if it were being counted like a bedroom or something like that, then that would be a really bigger consideration, right, in the appraisal. And you would want to make sure that you knew for sure that it was legally being used as a bedroom. I don't know if the appraiser actually looks into that, into the zoning. Maybe not. I don't know.
They do.
I mean, I
They didn't
think,
even look for the living space as much as for a VA loan. If there's a structure, the structure has to meet the guidelines.
I think that with appraisers, like the rule of thumb is they're gonna look at rezoning. Like I say that, it doesn't mean they all do, but I would rather weigh on the fact that they're all gonna look at every single thing and be prepared for that than I would not.
I had a
I had an appraiser in Norfolk call me out on a house from 1920 being on a non-conforming lot, made me verify with the city that if it burnt down tomorrow, that it could be rebuilt.
Right.
But
We're getting a little sticky.
they're getting,
And that was money.
Getting a little sticky,
That was 5 years ago.
I remember that with you.
which is crazy, so.
Yep.
Any other questions on the forms or anything?
Do you have any changes on the listing of everything? No changes on the listing of
Yeah, we went over that in the beginning.
I'm gonna go over all of
I
them.
know, yeah, it's like, anyway, but what you can do is, what you can do, that's okay, what you can do is just right after, just get with somebody really quick, plus this is gonna be recorded. It'll be on our Facebook page, but it was the very first one. That's what we're talking about, we're talking about how that, with the listing, it was on the first one, it's in blue. Also, Rain sent it out to you too, you have it in an email as
I have
well,
the email.
Yeah.
We send emails every day, so I wasn't sure.
yeah. But we'll have this on the recording, I'd love to go back over it, we just don't have time right now here,
Yeah, yeah.
but afterwards, just get with somebody and then.
Mhm.
All right, anyone have any other questions? Austin, you're up.
No questions, yeah, I was just gonna.
Austin's running, he's running.
Announcement.
Best dress.
We're gonna have to change this picture here.
Oh.
Yeah, we got another date. Sandra is joining Sykes Down. She had, took an opportunity to work directly. So our North Carolina deals, That's all right, for now. Yeah, she'll be with us till the end of July.
Okay. End of July, to go to North Carolina.
Get it closed by end of July.
And the next one.
We have to decide if we wanna decide to try to wave in there or something. Yeah, so that's the update there. Obviously, I know. It's tough, but you know, obviously we're wish her well, but we're gonna be here and
I'm taking that test, Austin.
yeah, I'm gonna take a test. So and yeah, and I can wave in. It's just it's like $2,000 and stuff. I know. North Carolina, but it sounds like Sandra hadn't really had to do.
Bitch in.
Susan agrees, she's not her now.
All right, the people have spoken, yeah. To please, so
Never make you go to North
I
Carolina.
appreciate that.
Never made you go, I didn't make a single
Appreciate
person
that.
go down there when I
Yeah.
did that trailer, I drove.
All right.
myself.
See, we'll go.
You're making it sound better already.
I had to go with my own.
In July.
So,
Shouldn't already made.
Well, give me an updated photo.
so, yeah, we'll have to update that.
Twice.
Yeah,
Photoshop that.
there we go. All right, that's all for me.
Okay, well, thanks, Susan. Thank you for everything. We appreciate it. Round of applause for James Walker and Mike. All right, Captain Mortgage.
This picture always sends me when I turn.
Never change. This will be here forever. He's gonna be 80 coming up here. We're both gonna be 80 and I'm gonna still have the same picture. Yeah.
With the shield on it.
Start bringing the shield. I still have it. You know, you can't get rid of costumes or parts of costumes or.
We gotta keep it.
How's everybody doing today? I try to bring a little bit of fresh air. No offense, Austin, you're my best friend. When we get beat up for contracts for 15 to 30 minutes, it's like, we all need a deep breath, right?
This was a good one though. It wasn't much
Yeah.
changes, thankfully.
They're always super important. I mean, we can all agree that legal stuff, contracts, anything that they bring to the table is obviously super duper important. More important than probably most stuff that me and Bill and Jess have to bring to the table, because that's the type of stuff that will literally not get your deal closed. But anyway, great information from them. Sad to hear Sandra is leaving. She was definitely a great person to hang out with when we had closings and all that. But whoever got her, they're lucky. They got a good lady. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff coming up. I'll start off by saying, who would like to get probably, one extra deal a month in the room? We all would, right? So Thomasina and I are gonna be doing one-on-ones with you all. And for those of you online, we're gonna be doing one-on-ones to try and help you or not try, we're to help you build your business and give you actionable steps that you can implement today to be able to obtain more business. But I'll tell you the same thing now that I'll tell you during the meeting. Consistency is key. If you're not consistent with what you do, you will not be successful in this industry. You have to be consistent. You may keep your head above water by not being consistent, but you won't be super successful and be like my friend here in the front. But so I say that, please sign up. We'd love to have you. We'd love to mastermind with you. And I'm sure there's things that we can learn from you all too. It's not just us talking the whole time.
Yep.
So.
It's up here on the screen. It's July 16th. It is from 11 to 3. Just text me and I'll let you know the times that are available. We've already had a couple people sign up, so text me. You get 30 minutes with us. We're going to give you food. We're gonna have some pizza. It's gonna be at Cho's at the oceanfront. So just text me and we'll get you signed up on
Yes. Perfect.
July 16th. That's next Wednesday.
So next week, put your seatbelts on, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of things going on with AFN and Team AFN and the things we're doing. So all this stuff is going to be on your internal page. On Tuesday, July 15th, on Zoom. Who remembers the 1031 exchange class we had? Everybody?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
that was great. So we are doing a different type of class, not related to the 1031, but it's kind of similar. Has anybody in here ever heard of a self-directed IRA? I know you have, obviously. So a self-directed IRA is a great tool, or could be a great tool for you or your investors to be able to buy properties. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I could probably tell you a little bit of bullshit, but at the end of the day, please come to the class. You can learn some things for you and your investor clients on using a self-directed IRA, possibly in lieu of a 1031 exchange, but it's also another tool or another resource for you to be knowledgeable when people start talking about, oh, I don't want to pay taxes, or how can I buy this rental property and not pay taxes and things of that sort. It would be very beneficial for you to come. Once again, it's on July 15th on Zoom. Yeah, that's it. That's also going to be on your Facebook page.
Do we, where's it at?
It's on Zoom. Just 100% on Zoom.
So do you want to have it?
The lady is host. I think she's, I don't remember. She's in like Ohio or something.
Okay. You're gonna
Um,
send that to me.
yeah, and come to find out, once we started poking around in this self-direct, sorry. OH.
Oh.
Thank you. Lord have mercy. Got
Lord,
one.
I was laughing.
Got one. My father-in-law will be proud. He's a Ohio State grad. But yes, the,
Spelling.
yes.
That's my
Yes,
fault.
no, it's
Sorry.
all good. This is your house, your rules, dude. I mean. But anyway, so I already lost my train of thought. Anyway, next one. The very next day, on July 16th, Courtney's my partner, you all know. She's gonna be at Evertree on July 16th. I hope I'm not stealing your fury.
I'll just repeat.
Yeah, please. We're doing a bunko night, not we, but the Women's Council of Realtors are doing a bunko night. It is open to the public. You do not have to be a female nor a realtor, so that means everybody. So please come out. It'll be a good time. Good little fun game. I don't know if anybody in here play bunko? Anyone? One, two?
I think so.
The game. They'll have.
Super easy.
Yeah.
If you've never played it, it's super easy.
If you can count to 6 and throw dice, you're good.
Yep,
Boom.
that's true.
Might be some side bets. I don't know. I don't know how it works, to be honest with you, but either way, so that's that. July 16th also
Is that
will
on your
be,
page too?
yes, ma'am. Will also be on your Facebook page. Thursday, July 17th at 6:30, we're doing another Sunset Boat Cruise. This is not you all's boat cruise. You all's boat cruise at Coastal Town is going to be at the end of August, but you know, we do a couple of these a year, not only to promote ourselves and to bring people together to network, but also to promote Freedom Boat Club. Because we love Freedom Boat Club. They're very good to us. And who doesn't like being on a boat, you know? Last one is on Wednesday, July 23rd, we're doing another summer networking pool party. From 4 to 6 at Little Neck Swim and Racket Club. So you all can come, bring your kids, bring your friends, whatever, doesn't matter who you bring, just come hang out. And then, lastly, I don't know if you all saw, but I was on the podcast with Thomasina and Jimmy Ray recently called Unanswered. Please check it out. We talked about mortgages and rates and things like that. So it was cool. It was a cool experience for me. And obviously it was just hanging out with my friends and recording on a microphone. But yeah, other than that, any questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Self-directed IRA?
All right. Thank you, Captain Morris. And our hostess with the mostest.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, guys, first of all, thank you for making the trip. I know it's different. Please make sure you help yourself to the goods over there, because you know I did all that.
Take some to go to, so you have some.
Actually, my wife did all that, so I had nothing to do with it. She just told me how to set it up. But I wanted to read something to you. Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the fastest lion or it'll be killed. Every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up. It knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it'll starve to death. It doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be running. In this market, this has got to be your motto. If you're working 2 days a week, you're not going to get the business. You have to grind. I am working open houses every weekend. If you got open houses, I'm grinding. I'm going to as many as I can. That's old school. I'm going door to door with realtors who want to walk their neighborhoods and give out goodie bags. Don't care what we want to do, but let's go old school again. Let's get your business back, because in this kind of economy, it's going to come back. We know it's going to come back because the economy is like this. But when it gets down like this, the people that are still doing well are the people that are grinding. You're doing 3 times much to get, the same amount of business. Be more than happy to help any of you do that, but everybody has their own model. So if you'd like to meet and talk about it, let's go. Let's get down and dirty. I know
If
that.
you're not doing open houses and you're not door dashing yet, door knocking. No, door dash, you leave your card.
Hey, that would be an expensive neighborhood.
Things like that. I mean, all of those things we'll partner with, but you need to be doing them. If you're not doing them, and you're not advertising and you're not doing the footwork, you're not gonna get the business.
Correct.
It's not gonna fall in your
And it
lap.
doesn't matter if you're a listing agent or a buying agent. There's lots of things we can do for listing agents. There's mortgage coach that we can log into and give 3 different scenarios for your sellers of what they can make if they buy the rate down for this and don't drop the price, because if you go back to things that came out 3 or 4 years ago. You have the 3-2-1 buy down. You have the 2-1 buy down that we could offer to buyers if you have a bunch of listings that aren't moving. And if you don't, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to walk through a bunch. Some of them may not be right with your sellers, some of them will. But let's get back to the basics. That's what I'm doing. I am calling and talking to people left and right. I've called, Colin, what we do? We went through like 40, excuse me, stand up. I am so rude.
Yeah, not everyone here has that on.
Come on, you gotta come up here. 'Cause you get on video.
You missed it.
So as you know, for 2.5 years, my better half was Mandy Carter, and she is now out on her own. And we are all applauding that because that was the whole point of her coming in, is to do this. Bell is now Colin. It's Colin. This redneck is having trouble pronouncing his name. Big C is what we're gonna call him. Okay?
Yes.
Anyway, he has been a loan officer coordinator, and a few of you have had the pleasure of meeting with him on loans. He gets everything cleared to close 4 or 5 days early. He's amazing. But now he's ready to take the next step and go into the loan world. So we are going to be partnering. I'm gonna try to put as much knowledge into him as possible. His uncles and his cousins all work here as well. So
Oh, now you get the choice.
So, he's gonna be getting married soon, so we got a bit of business.
Thank you.
So anyway, I just wanted to welcome him. I want you guys to have it in the face, because when he calls, he's talking to your clients. He basically tells me to get out of the way unless he needs me, because he just wants me. He just screw things up. Could you just leave it there? So anyway, Colin, we appreciate it. Welcome to the family. This is my family, so I want you to know him.
Welcome, Colin.
And he will start attending meetings with us twice a month. Because twice a month, I'm gonna let him stay here and do his conference calls that he's got with other loan officers. Because until we build a business big enough to support 2 of us.
You get to come to Stump the Broker, huh?
Yes,
Nice.
that's fun. So anyway, welcome, and don't forget, and if anybody wants a copy of it, just send me a text and I will send it.
Send it to me and I'll put it on our
Okay.
Facebook.
Cause I'll tell you what, somebody gave this to me, when I first started, cause I don't know how many people have been in the business less than 3 years. 5 years. 10 years. Is this not one of the lowest times you've had in the business that you've ever had? Isn't this what your motto was when you first got started, all the energy and all the, we had to do? And everybody's got their own motto, so let's get it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you for hosting. Thank you so much. All right. Are you both coming up or just one?
Sure.
No, had too much caffeine already, everybody.
Energy drink.
That energy drink got
Come
me.
on up, ladies.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My better half is here today from. I don't really, insurance minutes, there's really nothing new. Our rates are what they are. We can't really control them. I think they're leveling out. I think I say that every month. I know our service team is amazing. Our quoting and sales team is amazing. That's not changed. I'm just gonna totally go off kilter a little bit with Craigan and Bill, and consistency is key for your business. So with that being said, I know they talked about relationships with their realtors and walking around, and Craigan's very big into family and bringing everybody together. I'm a gym rat and fitness is very important to me. I think functional fitness to get to 80 years old is very important, especially all y'all realtors. I know you're out bending down in homes and crazy. So the gym that I go to is doing a total body transformation starting August 2nd, and I've got some realtor already coming. And I said, if you wanted to do it, I would show up so you felt like you had somebody there that you knew and didn't feel like intimidated. So if you're interested in being consistent in the gym and being maybe getting in a different place, not necessarily like skinny, because I hate that word. But if you're interested in doing something consistent in the gym for fitness, please reach out to me. I would love to have you there as a team member, and also use Evertree because we are fit to be tied to have your business.
Want to see if anybody was saying anything.
Yeah, no,
What gym?
Natural Bodies Fitness off Kempsville. But they have two locations, so there's one on Kempsville and there's one off of Pleasure House Road, and I do believe the workouts on Saturdays will alternate. But they do a workout plan customized to you and a nutrition plan customized to you only, not a group. It's just a group setting, so you feel like you can come and meet some people, maybe a good place to find a seller. Buyer. You never know. Yeah, so that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies.
Happy to help.
good to see
Welcome,
everyone.
Sarah. Hey, sir. Let's hear all the things. All the worldly things that you know, please dump that on me. You can start with insurance though. And then you can go from there.
I think my message is the same. Our rates are what they are. They suck and if you want to know about insurance and you like want to do like a little deep dive, insurance has soft markets and hard markets. And the insurance industry is in the hardest market it has been in since the Great Depression. They only usually last about 2 years, and this one's been going on since the end of COVID. And in the absence, and that's all related to all the things economic. So until insurance, until insurance loosens up, then other things are not going to loosen up. And we could get into all the reasons why it's still tough, but no one wants to insure anyone right now. It doesn't matter which insurance company it is. No one wants to take on any additional risk. And so the largest insurance companies in America are being very restrictive. And so why that impacts you is because you're doing everything you can to sell a house, and the insurance agents or companies are doing everything they can to not insure the house. So things that the buyer is probably going to have to take care of that probably just got winked through, now all of a sudden are a big issue. And that's the roof, and that's the what we call our attractive nuisances. But we don't like the guy who has a pit bull and a trampoline and a diving board. Like we were good with one of those, but all three of those, that's gonna be a problem. And so those are the, I mean, not saying we can't do it, but those are attractive nuisances. And those are things that lead to lawsuits and those types of things. Obviously, my office can help. We sell all the same, we all selling the same stuff. It's just who you want to deal with. You want to call.
You are the only one that sells Geico.
I am the only one that sells Geico for now. But I'm the only one that sells Geico at the rate that I can sell it at. Eventually, just being frank, Geico will start selling it through agents, probably like Evertree, but they're going to sell it at a higher Geico price than what my Geico price is, similar to Progressive. You can buy Progressive Insurance through another company, and they have Progressive Drive and they have Progressive Direct. If you call Progressive directly, you're gonna get a better rate than if you call it an agent. The difference is if you want an agent, you're gonna pay 10 to 15% more because you had an agent. Geico, I sell the direct rate, but you can now buy Geico through independent agents across the country, not in Virginia yet. But you're gonna pay a higher price for it. And it prices, and you'll see oftentimes on a Progressive ad, prices depend upon how you buy. And so Geico, thankfully, is the exclusive Geico agent in the area. Then our prices will be protected and we'll sell the same rate that the call center sells. But dealing with the call center can be painful. You don't have to deal with the call center if you go through my office because you get to talk to me or anyone else in my office that can help. So I thought I would leave you with a quick story.
I love how frank he is with everything. Like, I've known this guy forever, since I was like in my 20s, like early 20s, like I was 20. I was 20 years
I was
old.
20.
Yeah, so we were 20. And he has been this frank since the day that I met him.
But so you often, those of you that deal with investors, you'll often find that sometimes investors require renter's insurance and sometimes they don't. And in all of our rental properties, we require renter's insurance. And we, obviously you get added as an additional interest. And so therefore, in the event that the renter's policy lapses, then I get a notice that your renter's insurance has lapsed. And I will go so far to get really legal here. We will cure or quit your lease if you don't have renter's insurance. And cure or quit is you have 30 days to cure this, or we're going to quit the lease. Similar to a pay or quit, but it's a cure or quit. So in one of the 12-unit complexes that I have, it's 2 stories, and people live upstairs, people live downstairs. The downstairs began to overflow with raw sewage last month. And massive amounts of raw sewage, massive, just, you got 12 people flushing the commode and we're like, stop flushing the commode. And they're like, we've turned off the water to the building and they're going down to the Quickie Mart and buying gallon waters to pour into and it's just still bubbling out. And we're like, what's going on? Well, after we had to dig up the downstairs floor because the pipe collapsed, we actually identified, because of the way the stack was, that a pair of scissors was flushed down the had gone down. And
I love renters.
and so $48,000 later, we've got the plumbing back working, but she has renter's insurance. Now, unfortunately, property damage done by a renter only covers 4 things: fire, explosion, water, and one other thing smoke. So none of those things, but the issue is the repair to fix the plumbing was out of our pocket, but all of the damage done to our property from the water overflowing was covered by her renter's insurance. And so we're in the process of settling with the insurance company and putting most of the cost, water damage. The hole kept collapsing because of water. But my point is that you'll deal with investors who maybe, I don't care about renter's insurance, that's on them. But that's the second time in a year that we've gone after the renter's insurance because we had someone who thought it was cute to leave their dog in the house, who climbed up on the stove and turned on the stove and the apartment caught on fire. And
The dog was okay.
the dog was okay.
Was it the dog? Was the dog?
The dog was okay. But my point is that we went after the renter's insurance again and they renovated the whole building because that's property damage done by the tenant to the landlord's property. All right. And so it's just a great example of why you hear these types of things happen and why you hear apartment complexes and regular, if you know of anyone that is renting houses to people, you'll say renter's insurance is mandatory. And this is why, because if they do something to the house, all right? Yes.
2 questions. One, regarding what you were saying, let's just say the person does not have renter's insurance and those scenarios, would your overall coverage of your home, your homeowner's insurance as a landlord, would it cover that loss? I'm not talking about
So
the scissor thing. I'm more so like the fire.
So the fire would be covered under your landlord's policy.
Yes.
Now, being very particular about it, the insurance company actually wanted us to go through our insurance company. And then there's a process called subrogation where our insurance company goes after their insurance company and gets paid back. And I said, absolutely not. I am not filing a claim on my homeowners. I am filing a liability claim with you. We're not opening up a claim against me because now in this market,
Yeah,
you
that's
do
okay.
not want a claim. So I said, I'm not taking a claim. And it was USAA in that particular case, and they agreed, you're right, we don't like it, but we'll pay you. And they settled with us on the fire. You had a second question. Oh,
Midterm rental. So greater than 30 days, less than annual, like month to month, basically, furnished rentals. What's your position as far as renter's insurance when it comes to that? Because if the person's only there for 1 month, is that a thing to be able to do?
so if you disclose,
renter's
I
insurance?
mean, if you call my agency and you disclose, I want this renter's insurance policy for 30 days, we're probably out. If you're just trying to buy renter's insurance and you're not telling me that you want it for 30 days, we're not going to be out and we'll be glad to sell it. Renter's insurance is important because not only does it protect your personal property, but just like homeowners includes worldwide liability. And that's for libel and slander. And the example 25 years ago when her and I were in insurance class for libel was when you wrote a letter to the editor and said, my neighbor's an idiot. Today, you just actually put that in a text message or you put it on Facebook, and all those things are libel. It's written word against someone's character of which you could be sued. And so we just do that all the time, right? If you are sued because of a remark that you put on Facebook, your worldwide liability would help. And that's what personal injury is, which is the reason why we talk about everyone should have an umbrella policy, because especially those of you that are mouthy on Facebook, somebody one day, we have an Airbnb and someone put on a review for me, this place has mold. And I replied back and said, you need to give us physical evidence or face the repercussions of us basically suing you. And she said, and the review went away. And she deleted the review because we didn't have mold. That's what she thought we had. You can ask me a question. Who?
Yes.
So I was gonna ask him a question.
Okay.
Are you talking about short-term rental insurance?
Kind of, but
Very tough to get.
kind of, but not really, because short-term rental to me is less than 30 days. I'm talking about specifically greater than 30 days in 1 year.
There's like only 3 specific insurance companies that do any kind of short-term rental insurance, and they do up to 30 days and like 3-month and 6-month policies. And they're literally a short-term rental.
And you're
insurance
talking
company.
about like a renter's insurance
They
side.
they do the renter insurance side of it, and they do like, they cover the tenants and they cover their belongings and they cover, like, but they're covering it through your insurance, and there's only a couple of companies that do it,
Yes.
so.
And on the other side of it, trying to get insurance on an Airbnb,
Yeah, there's only a couple of companies.
trying to get an insurance on Airbnb on a house built before 1960, 2 blocks from the ocean. Yeah, that's real tough. There's only like 2 or 3 carriers on all the Hampton roads that said we'll even touch it.
Mine's on the water and a sixplex and built in 1908. So
Yeah, and here, I'll pause here real quick. If you're not careful, you have what is called a non-admitted carrier. And a non-admitted carrier means we have not met the criteria in the state of Virginia to operate, but we are here under special permission. In the event of a massive loss in the area, they're non-admitted. So in insurance, in the event that Geico were to go bankrupt, State Farm, Allstate, and Progressive have to bail them out. That is the standard. A non-admitted carrier, when they go bankrupt, you don't have coverage and they have your premium. Because no one has to bail them out. And so if you're not careful, Johnson & Johnson and those kind of names that you hear, you have to make sure that the policy that they've written you is an admitted contract. And because the premium matters.
mine's Virginia property because they're the only ones that'll write
Oh,
off.
So I just have one comment, and this is just to the agents, is make sure you're using one of these people in their office if you can. Because I'm telling you right now, I've had 2 people dropped in the last 2 months because they went to this off-the-wall insurance. And all of a sudden the roof wasn't covered or the driveway was bad. They went by and took pictures. And the agent that they got it through didn't return the phone calls, didn't do anything. These people were screwed. If they go through him and it's one of their policies that they do, they're gonna take care of it. They're gonna call and they're gonna find a way to fix it.
The reality is whether you get involved or not, 30 to 40% of all consumers in Hampton Roads have Geico auto insurance. And the majority of those are going to call Geico and buy a homeowner's policy. And that's absolutely the worst case scenario for them. Because it's the 1-800 number and it has complications. I can't imagine what it takes for you to get proof of coverage when the 1-800 number is involved.
Yeah.
Right? But the problem is with us, we're going to be right back in here. And if there's a problem, we kind of have to face the music. So
Also, don't call 800 number for a question on a claim.
Just call the agent.
Just call the agent.
Call your agent.
Yeah, if I call and say, is this pipe situation covered? They're going to open up a claim. That's just what happens.
And I think people forget to look at you guys that way, like if there's a problem with the house and you guys are building a house, buyer's calling you or the seller's calling you, there's a problem with the loan, they're calling us. Trust me, they're calling us every day. Do the same thing with them. That's what they're here for. They want to help.
So,
Sorry. most-
No, all good.
Soapbox to
any
you
other,
guys.
any other,
He's like, I don't have nothing to say, and I'm like, okay.
any other insurance? Yes.
So landlord's policies covers
Landlord?
fire. Yeah, landlord's policy will cover fire, but if it's accidentally or if it's also caused by the,
It depends on the situation. So a landlord's policy is actually a different policy form, and then we have two separate types of policy forms there. You have his form, which is a terrible form. A little bit better. I mean, right, is you probably have what is called a DP one. You need to look at it. It's probably a DP one and it sucks. And there's a DP three, all right? And the big difference between those two is in the event that you have a total loss, they're gonna pay you actual cash value, which is what it's worth minus depreciation. DP one has to pay that. DP three, which is a landlord's policy, is going to pay you replacement cost. So what does it cost to rebuild the place? The difference is his 1908 house may have depreciated to zero, and your 1908 house under replacement cost, we build you a new one. Right? So it does cover fire, and a regular landlord's policy is gonna cover what we call the 16 perils. And that's wind, hail, fire, lightning, all those things. The issue is, and then I don't wanna scare you all too much, is when a house goes vacant. It doesn't matter what form it's on. When a house goes vacant greater than 60 days, all malicious mischief is excluded. So the house has been vacant for 61 days, and someone breaks into that house that you have a for sale sign out in front of it, and they set it on fire and it burns down, there is no coverage.
Remember me telling you the story at lunch? That was the guy.
ah,
No coverage at all, because malicious mischief, the peril of vandalism and malicious mischief is withdrawn from the contract when it's empty for 61 days.
Or go get you a builder.
so,
Oh, she's not finished.
Yes.
so a tenant's policy, right, like a renter's insurance. I thought that was only for their belongings, like
No,
they don't
it's-
cover anything.
There's section one, which is personal property and includes loss of use. And then there's section two, which is liability. So the reason why everyone is requiring people to have renter's insurance is not because they care where they're going to get their clothes at tonight when their house burns down. They care about suing that tenant when they burn down their house. So I'll use apartment complex as an example. You burn down an apartment complex, that apartment complex probably has $100,000 or a $300,000 deductible. That's the reason why they're requiring the tenant to carry $300,000 in liability. Because they're, because,
$1,000 in my bank account to pay their deductible when I burn down my.
Yes. but if you burn down someone's house, or if you burn down the apartment, it doesn't matter if it was your fault or not, because I was negligent. Remember, in Virginia, where we don't have contributory negligence necessarily in insurance. You're either at fault or not at fault, period. In some states, well, you should have kind of been in front of me. I kind of shouldn't, right? All right, yes. In Virginia, if you leave the stove on and you burn the house down and you burn down the whole apartment complex, you are personally liable for everyone's damages. You are personally liable for the injuries. You are personally liable for the cost to put out the fire. You're personally liable to rebuild everything. What you're hoping is because you had renter's insurance for $8 a month, the $300,000 in liability, you look at a jury of your peers and say, I'm sorry, I did everything I could and I had $300,000 insurance. And the jury says, you're off. We'll take the $300,000. The insurance company can pay the rest. If not, they will enter a judgment against you and they will destroy you financially for the rest of your life.
I think I was lucky because I had, my property last year had a fire on it and I had a tenant in there. And the tenant, it wasn't nobody's fault. It was freaking attic fan that was from 1900 or something,
Yes.
caught on fire. And, I told them they needed to get insurance. It was in the contract. They had it and then they canceled it, I guess, because they didn't want to pay for it, because whatever's financial situation. So when the fire happened, they did not have their insurance.
So thankfully, because that's more of like
Your responsibility.
The insurance company, though, has put a little mark against you and said she didn't maintain her attic fan. Right? And so if you had another loss like that, now all of a sudden you can't get insurance. Does that make sense? But what you can do to avoid that situation from happening, if you want to make sure that your tenants are in a good shape, because as a landlord, what I want to be able to do is if the house burns down, say, I'm glad you got renter's insurance, we'll go our separate ways. I'm not putting the GoFundMe together and all that other stuff. That's why you needed insurance, right?
Yeah.
You can add yourself as an additional interest on that policy. And the moment that it is pending cancellation for non-payment, you'll get a letter that says the insurance is canceled. And so that's what we do on all of our properties, and you gotta pay it. You gotta pay this.
Managers like require.
Yeah,
that
it's
there are
in the
additional
lease and a lot.
interest policies.
I mean, I required it, but then how am I supposed to know whether they canceled it or not? Not even.
You'll get a letter. You get a letter every month.
Additional interest.
Yeah, an additional interest.
To the policy.
Yeah, you're added to the policy
Additional.
at the moment that they buy it. And you get proof. They don't even have to send it to you. You get a letter every time it comes. If it cancels for non-payment, you get a letter. If they make their payment and they got it reissued, you get a letter.
That's where I
If
didn't
they're
know
up for
nothing about
renewal.
that.
And up for renewal, you get a letter.
We were lucky. Nothing happened. My insurance covered everything and they went out their way. They lost all their stuff.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Awesome. All right, you are up.
We need some more doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Well, here's positive stuff. I'm here today to talk to you about.
Well, tell me who you are, 'cause there are
Yeah.
people online who don't know who you are.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
yes. I haven't done one of these in a couple years now, so welcome to me. My name's Jordan from American Real Estate Media. We do primarily listing media for houses that are gonna be for sale. But today, I'm not talking about that. It's actually a new program that I thought up recently that I want to introduce to everybody. So we can see right here, and the program is called Neighborhood Insiders. And what this is, the whole point of this is to help agents get on camera. So I know most everybody in the industry understands the concept that they really need to be in front of a camera nowadays to make videos and connect with, their potential clientele. But it's super, super hard to get started. And even if you start and you do it yourself, like it's just difficult. Because you have to find your voice and do it a couple times, see what doesn't work, hate it, try it again, and all that. It's just very hard to start. A lot of times we'll do listing videos and it'll take 30 minutes for an agent to do like a 1-sentence introduction for a house. Right? And then it's like, it's really painful. I feel like the dentist a lot. But anyways, so this program here, it's all about one, helping the agent get on camera, and I'll be with them, helping direct them and get comfortable doing this so they can do it more often and actually have a voice out there. But also taking that and then going super hyper focused on a particular community and making content not related to real estate listings per se, but create community focused content. So to be more specific, what we're going to be doing for folks is creating a website and other related web presences such as a Facebook page, etc., and making content every single month where the agent is on video, not at houses, but in the community. So we'll be at restaurants and small businesses and other like your preferred vendors type of people. And essentially, one day a month, we'll go to a couple different places, record an intro, and then we look around. So we go to a restaurant, we say, hello, this is Nikki with the neighborhood. And today we're here at this restaurant and I'm here with the owner and they have their little spiel. And then for the next minute of the video, we just do B-roll around the restaurant. And then we do this over and over and over again over the course of a year. And then you get a ton of content that shows you to be the local expert in that neighborhood. And then the result of all this is that people will start watching it and then wow, they start recognizing you. And when it's time to, when it's time for them to have real estate needs, right? Well, they already know somebody. They know you because they're the ones that you're the ones that they've been watching for a while, and you know, you focus on their neighborhood. And just to touch on the specificity of why we're focusing on a neighborhood. So if we focus on the area that we live in, so I live in Deep Creek, and what, let's say my website would be called deepcreekinsider.com. It's not to necessarily showcase other businesses around Deep Creek, but it's about my neighbors that live next to me. The things that you would want to show your neighbors about the community, being also a resident there. So there'd be a section on the site, for instance, that would go over food. So if I live in Deep Creek, there's not many food choices in Deep Creek, but there are in the rest of Hampton Roads. So again, I'm not trying to show off Deep Creek food, for instance, but I'm trying to show off the places I go, and I'll go to Western Branch, Town Center, downtown Norfolk, all over the place. So anyways, this, do this over time, you get yourself on camera a lot, and then you get to show the whole area. And then, again, the point is that you're on camera very frequently, and the end result is if they don't know an agent, then, well, they find somebody that they enjoy watching, that is local to them, it's their neighbor. Why wouldn't they want to work with them? So does this all make sense? Get the point here? Anyways, the cost of this program is $500 a month. It's done the entire web presence and the filming every month. So I know there's not a ton of agents sitting here right now, but if you have anybody that you think might be good to do this.
We have another 26 online, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's 26 online. But anyways, if, I know this is something that people have been wanting to do, and they try to do filming themselves, and again, it's just super hard. So for those that wanted to do this sort of thing, it's really great. I'll talk for about an hour about planning when you have someone specific that wants to talk about an area. But also if you know people that you think would be great for it, but they're not here to hear this, definitely share it. I mean, I've had 10 people sign up to get started this month, agents directly. And then I've had another few people that have done it in partnership with their mortgage person, or a mortgage person heard it and then said, here's the agent that has been trying it, so let me tell them about it. Anyway, so for the right person, it's going to be a really great thing.
And down here at the bottom is his phone number, so that you can contact him if needed. Yeah, it's on our Facebook page, but it's also, and this goes also out 3 more ways.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my little spiel. So if you need it, you'll get the flyer and just give me a phone call.
It's on our Facebook page already, but this also will go out again, so.
Perfect.
All right, thanks,
Okay,
Jordan.
That's all.
Thank you, Jordan. I think Tina was on here. Oh, there she is. I see her. Tina. Oh, you're on mute.
Unmute, okay, I'm unmuted. Feel like the insurance people, there's really nothing, there's nothing new. There's nothing new, except for, just make sure your clients are protected. We are seeing, claims completed. There was a bunch of claims completed over a 4th of July weekend. That's not typical in the warranty world, if you guys are familiar, with the traditional space. But, if a client calls on the 3rd and it's the day before the 4th of July weekend, they're able to get their home back up and running the same day. That's what we're seeing. So just reach out if you guys have any questions or need anything, but that's it.
Thanks,
Thank you
Tina.
for the support.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have a brand new. So she's doing good. Caitlin said to me this morning that she's sleeping through the night. She's sleeping really well. I know, 2 weeks, right? We're 2 weeks in. I don't even believe what happened. What happened? I don't know, but good thing I got it up here. So, It was unpinned.
Oh, does Zoom only go
It
for?
was already unpinned. I don't know. I'll have to look at it in a second. So, anyway, she's doing great. She is, sleeping through the night. She needs to gain a little bit of weight, so hopefully tomorrow for her doctor's appointment, she will be gaining weight, which would be great. I think we're back up. Yeah, there we go. I know we didn't lose it because I still saw it up here, so I wasn't too scared. But she's wonderful and Mama's doing good too. So our newest little addition there, and we told Caitlin that we use her terribly. She's so cute. She is so cute. Clap for Jed. He's yesterday, so it's like fresh. And then we have our, oh, I guess we're a little pause there. There we go, $1 Million Club, Minoshikina Homes, and David. Then we have Sweet David, listing and closing. Their listings and closings, a complete suite. Mouse has disappeared. There we go. There they are. So we, it's just spinning. It just likes to spin for whatever reason right now. No. Well, once we get off of that, I will, okay, have the collaborators come on up, ladies. Come on up. Yeah, you can sit anywhere.
Are.
They'll recognize you. Oops, maybe you're back one. She had to leave.
Rebecca had to go.
Yeah, she had to go. Sorry. I clicked, and then all of a sudden it decided it was going to delay in working, but it's. There we go.
Okay, that's me.
Yeah, Rebecca just said she's online.
Okay, there she is. She's online. Okay.
So my class is the second Thursday of every month. It's called Make It Rain. Who wants it to rain money? Who wants it to rain money?
I want to scream.
Well, then you need to show up to my class. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be calling, we are already 6 months through the year. So if we want to finish strong, just like the lender said, Bill was there the last class and we did call and ran through some scripts. We role played and we'll actually be calling for sale by owners live so we can hear and do some objection handling. So please show up this Thursday, 10 a.m.
Okay.
Are you gonna have it in Zoom also?
It's always offered on Zoom.
Yeah, the only class that's not offered on Zoom is our Stump the Broker.
But we definitely,
Because there's privacy issues with that, so.
I definitely encourage to come in person because that's a lot, lot more effective.
I don't know, I'm trying to get
I'm doing merchant and real estate on the 24th. I haven't quite figured out what I'm gonna do my class on. The lady who was gonna come visit us no longer is with the company that she was with.
Oh.
So, figure it out though. We're gonna do something fun. So we're gonna switch it up. Last time I did septics. Y'all missed it.
Yeah.
I even sent out the spreadsheet.
Literal weird shit.
Yeah, weird shit. Do you know how hard it is to talk about shit for an hour? I did it, but great. Yes, you did it, and it was good. David came, Nicki Minaj came. I did pretty good.
I was here too.
I mean, yeah, she was.
Stuff like it, every time I go, I learn something.
It
Every,
was great shit.
Tina learned something
Great.
about septic. But they changed all the septic rules
Mhm.
as of July 1st. Bet y'all didn't know that. Oh, you're not gonna know.
Should have been there.
Y'all weren't there. Better go to YouTube.
And guess what? Whoever was present got the slideshow.
Got the entire slideshow.
Go
I mean,
ahead.
it was 48 slides.
It was a lot of info. Okay.
All right, I just had mine, but my next one is first Wednesday of every month. This one, we're gonna be going over social media advertising, different things. So we're gonna kind of touch into KV Core and doing it directly through your Facebook business page, Instagram, all of that. So it's a good one to join.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna let you guys. Yeah, That's another slide. For some reason, the Zoom on my computer is updating, so you can't see the slide, but I'm leaving Nikki up here to talk about the book club.
All right, so
Rebecca, did you have anything to say for your class?
I sure do. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so the class coming up this Friday, we're going to review what Susan Walker went over on the contracts and the changes. And then more importantly, my class for August. Instead of being the second Friday, will be the first Friday, which is the 1st of August. And we're doing a really, really special, like inclusive all day long class that Jeff Ainsley at our office will be running with me. It's going to actually start in the office that you all are currently in at OVM at 8 o'clock. We're going to cover land acquisition, design, permitting and structure, doors, window, roofing, and some mechanicals. Around 11, we will leave to a job site to see actual construction. And then at 12:30, we'll come back to the classroom for lunch and follow up with more information about interior wall finishes, millwork, flooring, baths, landscaping, etc. And then it should be over around 4:30 that day. It's going to be intense. It's going to be a ton of information, but I'm really excited.
Awesome. All right, go ahead and talk about the book club.
So last week, we talked about it, that we were gonna do the Ninja Book Club. I hope everyone's got their books. The link was in the event page.
And it's still there. It's still there.
So it's gonna be July 15th, right after Stump the Broker, 12 to 1. And also, I have a bonus. If you show up to my class in person on Thursday, 10 a.m., I will have 1 copy. So how many other people are there? We'll do a raffle or something, and I'll give 1 copy out from me. So please, let's read it. It's a great book. We actually got the audio too. Manish and me listened to the audio while we were going to Charleston for the KV Core seminar. Also, while listening to it and reading it, we learned some great tips. So definitely, I recommend it. And we'll incorporate it in my class with scripts and stuff. So Ninja Selling.
You can get it on Amazon. Give them 1 tip from the book that you ended up utilizing. Sorry.
It talked about the morning routine, which I've been 10 years in the business and I still struggle with that. So the morning routine was definitely a big, they actually spell it out for you, what you need to do at what time. So it's a no-brainer. You read it, you follow it, and definitely it changes the whole day. So if you have a good start in the morning, it really affects your day. So if I actually follow my morning routine, I'm done with my calls and my work by 2 o'clock. So during the summertime, I want to really follow it so I can be at the beach. So definitely encourage Ninja Selling. We'll be doing it. All the collabs are going to be there. So definitely July 15th, right after Stump the Broker.
Yep.
Thank
And
you.
it is a good book, and you could get it on audio too. If you didn't want to go through and have to buy the book and read it, you can get it on audio.
I'm going to do 1 free giveaway.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what the book looks like. You guys can see that now. Sorry, for some reason Zoom did an automatic update in the middle of the collaborators talking. Yeah, I always keep it back. I always have it in too, so that we never lose it. I don't know what that was, but you'd think they would ask you to do that before they did it, but they didn't. They just automatically did it. So anyway, this is what the book looks like. There's the date and the times. Again, it's right after Stump the Broker. And now we have Lucy's Love Notes. Come on up, Lucy.
We're just going with this team meeting today,
I have something to add to Ninja. I was lucky enough to go to a live in-person Ninja training in Charlottesville a few years ago. It's a good system and I don't sell. So definitely it's worth your time and effort. No, maybe I shouldn't. With regards to the new contracts, you're not getting new cheat sheets. There is not a single blank or checkbox that was changed. It's up to you as agents to learn the new verbiage through the red line documents and the updated forms. I'm not reading you your bedtime story at your job. Okay. So if you have questions about those changes, Rebecca's going over them, Susan went over them. You can rewatch what we've done here today. If you have other questions, call, ask. Be happy to go through it with you, but I'm not updating cheat sheets just so it says that date on the bottom of the form when nothing within the body of the form that you are responsible for filling in has changed. And any questions on that? And then just my normal reminders that if you want your listing documents to be reviewed, you need to include the current tax record that shows the current ownership and the year built. And if you're dealing with a entity seller or buyer, I want those entity documents before I'll review any of the purchase or sale documents. So if you've got an LLC, if you've got a corp, if whatever you've got, I need to know that the person who's signing those documents is legally allowed to sign those documents. So other than that, I don't have anything else. Anybody have anything for me?
Chrissy, do you have anything on the admin side?
Yes, so I think my only note would be that, if you're not submitting things, I'm not seeing them, so.
Neither
if
am
you're
I,
not-
it's a secret. We don't have time to dig through your panty drawer.
No, there's 555. There's 555 transactions. I'm not gonna go searching for stuff. If you're not submitting it, I'm not seeing it, which means your change forms aren't getting done or your updates aren't being put in. So make sure you're doing that. Otherwise, you know, everything's going great. So for those who are, I'm taking great pleasure in being able to say, hey, that's already done when you call in to check to see. And so if that's not happening to you, then maybe check how quickly you're submitting your documents.
And also, she does have, also, she does have a phone. She has to answer. She does have other agents. And every once in a while, she does have to go to the bathroom. So if you're calling and it's not being answered, texting me saying you called and she's not answering immediately, give her a few minutes. She's probably on the other line. Because all I'm gonna do is tell her to call you next. So I don't mind you doing it. It doesn't bother me, but just know that it's not gonna get you any faster, if that makes sense.
An agent.
Yeah, I mean, there are other agents, so she's one and only up there, unless she goes home to let the dogs out, then I sit there, but there's only one of us, so we're getting to it as fast as we can. I know nothing that's been late. I know some of you want things done immediately, but immediately doesn't always happen, like you have to be prepared for that unless it's an emergency, then we'll bump you to the top of the line, obviously, if it's an emergency, but just know that she's on the other line a lot of times.
I gotta tell you guys, she's quicker than I am.
Yeah, she,
So
my TC already.
for some grace.
Yeah, she's pretty fast. She's pretty fast. I mean, even stuff that I wanted, she's like, oh yeah, I already did that. I was like, I know, I love it. Just a habit asking. It's just a habit asking. So, all right, that is it. Does anyone have any questions online or here for anyone? Yes, go ahead.
Wanted to add that we will be discussing section.
That's okay. You can kind of see you, but you see the back of you where you're sitting, but it's just like the back of you. There we go. One more thing.
Yes, we will be discussing section 1, which is personal mastery. So you don't have to read the whole book, just read the section 1, and that's what we'll be discussing on.
Also, reminder, section 1 is not very long.
It's not-
It is like maybe 40 minutes if you do the audiobook.
Yeah, it's a easy read, so you can definitely do it even if you haven't started, because we have 10 days.
To and from a showing.
Yeah, let's do it. Section 1. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it. Awesome. Well, thank you again, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this, but we will I think he moved the food to in there. Yeah. So it's in here. If you guys want some food, go grab it and I will see you next time. Thank you guys online as well.